Right, so in today's video, I'm going to be talking about all the different projects that I'm going to have going on in my garden in 2023. There we go. He's knocking about still. Over the last couple of years, the main part of the renovation has been completed. So in 2021, we got the patio done, we built the retaining wall, we leveled both tiers, and last year was all about establishing the lawn, about getting the box hedges in place, about getting all those little tidy bits sorted and together. And this year we're going to continue developing the space by adding a few extra bits, making a few tweaks and refining some of the things we've got set up in place, and completing some of the odd projects that we didn't quite manage to get sorted before the end of last summer. Now we'll start off with what I think is the most important thing about a garden, and it is the lawn. So this year we're going to be doing a lot of work on the different lawns that I have. They're all relatively small, so hopefully if you're someone with just like a normal average size UK garden, these videos are going to come in really useful and really handy. What I'll do is I'll show some clips on screen now of what my lawns look like at the start of last year's garden season and what they look like towards the end, and you can see there's a massive difference in them. You might be in a position where your grass looks a little bit like this. It's quite bare, there's a few patches knocking about, there's a little bit of yellowing going on, there's the odd weed knocking about. I mean, this doesn't look too bad, but I mean, it's not amazing. For February it's okay, it's not superb. You might have a lawn that looks a little bit like this, which, you know, the only word I can use to describe this lawn would be horrific, because you can see some of the massive patches that we've still got. If you've watched any of my previous videos about this lawn, I actually seeded it from scratch last year, so there'll be a link somewhere for you to check that video out if you would like to watch that yourself. But this year I won't be seeding it from scratch, like killing it off and starting again. What I will be doing instead is I'm going to be top dressing it, and I'm going to be overseeding it. Now that's only going to be taking place towards the end of March, sort of early April time, which is sort of your prime time to be seeding really, because the temperature starts to improve, the weather becomes a little bit more consistent, and we've got a good amount of rain that'll come in that season as well, just to keep the soil moist. Whereas if you start to do anything like that now, you're just asking for trouble really. So that's what I'm going to do with this lawn. I'm going to be doing the same thing with the lawn at the top of here as well, and I'm also going to be redeveloping the front lawn too. So I'll be working on this lawn over the next few months and getting it to a stage where it's looking really superb. I think the problem sometimes is that when you try and find out how to get your lawn looking really nice, you often come across channels or articles online where the grass looks mint. It looks amazing to begin with. This one does look okay-ish to an extent, whereas, like I said before, the one down at the bottom, it just looks really poor. So you are going to see how a lawn that goes from looking proper scraggly and a bit naff, really naff in some instances, how it goes from looking like that to actually a lawn that's presentable, that's consistently green, that's got lovely lawn stripes in there. So I've talked a lot about the grass, but that is going to be my main focus on the channel this year. Another big thing we're going to be sorting this year is all of this brickwork. Now you can see this one I don't think looks too bad, so I'm most likely going to keep that the way it is. However, the wall at the back, it just looks an absolute state. We've had the housing developer out a few times to try and get rid of these marks, but you can see how much that's bubbled out over time. There's not really much we can do about the yellowing. However, I have seen some gardens where they've got panelling going all the way across. Now, not a featherboard sort of effect like what this would be like with your fence, let's say it was tilted that way, not like this sort of effect, but actually wood panelling running along. So that's one idea. I'm thinking of doing a similar thing on this garage wall over here as well. And whilst we're down here, this space is where I wanted last year the barbecue station to go. Now, the main reason I didn't do it last year was because I didn't have a barbecue, and I think to have a barbecue station, you need to have a barbecue first and foremost. So we're going to be getting one of those at some point this year. I'm also thinking of running a perforated drainage pipe all the way along the front of here, down towards where this grid is, down at the bottom end of the garden. And the reason being is because this space at the front, when it rains heavily, floods quite a lot. Luckily, it's draining away from the house, so it never gets to the point where it's getting too close to the house. But the water's sitting here, and you can see the state of the colour of these flags. Finally, the last big project we want to do at some point this year is the garage door. Now, it's not life or death, but going through the front garage door there can be a bit of a pain, especially when bringing stuff out to do lawn care things. I'm hoping to put a door in the side of the garage here. Bit of a big project, something that I'll be doing in the coming months, but if it's something you're interested in, then stay tuned. So I've not really done anything in today's video, but I wanted to post something now to sort of give you a bit of foresight as to what to expect in 2023 from this YouTube channel. So just to recap, we've got a lot of lawn care that's going to be going on. We're going to be building the barbecue station finally after 2 years of saying it. We're going to be softening the brickwork around the outside of the garden, and also getting the garage door and potentially a drainage pipe down the front. Now, if you do have any suggestions of things that you think might be quite useful, then feel free to let me know in the comments below. There will be stuff to do with the flower beds because, I'm not going to spend a lot of time showing you them because they look proper dreadful, but it is something we're going to be doing as well. From next week, I'm going to be posting weekly videos again up until the end of the gardening season. So if that's something you're interested in following along with, then feel free to subscribe. Check out my other videos for the time being, see all the different projects that I did last year. If it's something that's going to be useful to you, great, happy days. And finally, thanks for watching.